Zuck Justin Bieber. Secret hospital visits. Viral story transcript. Michael Chen's phone lit up at 2:47 a.m. and what he saw was about to shatter everything he thought he knew about his brother's final years. A video. Trending, 47 million views. The title said, Justin Bieber's secret hospital visits finally revealed. But wait a minute, how was this even possible? March 8, 2024, San Diego, California. Michael was scrolling through social media when the algorithm showed him something impossible. Something that would make him question the last 3 years of his life. Let me tell you, November 2021, Staff Sergeant David Chen was dying. Stage 4 lung cancer. The doctors at Naval Medical Center San Diego had given him 8 months, maybe less. David was 34 years old, Purple Heart recipient, 2 tours in Afghanistan, and now his body was destroying itself from the inside. Michael visited every day, every single day. He watched his younger brother fade. The chemotherapy made David's hair fall out, made him weak, made him forget things. But here's the thing that Michael could never understand. David kept talking about a friend, a visitor who came when Michael wasn't there. My friend Jay came today, David would say with a weak smile. Michael assumed it was another soldier, maybe someone from David's unit. That's great, bro. I'm glad you have company. He's funny, David would add. Makes me laugh even when everything hurts. Michael never thought to ask more. Because David had lots of military friends. Lots of people who cared. December 2021. January 2022. February 2022. David kept mentioning Jay. Every week. Sometimes twice a week. Jay brought me those protein shakes I like. Jay sat with me during chemo today. Jay showed me videos of his dog, made me forget about the pain for a while. Michael was grateful. Whoever this Jay was, he was giving David something that medicine couldn't: hope, laughter, distraction. But Michael never met him, never even saw him, because Jay always visited on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and Michael came Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and weekends. March 2022. David was getting worse. The cancer was spreading faster than expected. Doctors said maybe 2 more months, and that's when something strange started happening. The nurses began acting weird around Michael, whispering, exchanging glances, like they knew something he didn't. Your brother is very lucky, Nurse Patricia said one afternoon. Lucky? Michael had responded bitterly. He's dying. Patricia had touched his shoulder gently. I mean lucky to have such devoted friends. Michael didn't understand. What friends? Jay was the only one who visited regularly. April 2022. David's room suddenly had new things. A specialized hospital bed, a gaming console, noise-canceling headphones, a tablet loaded with movies. Where did all this come from? Michael asked the staff. Anonymous donation, they said. For your brother specifically. Michael was confused. Who would donate thousands of dollars of equipment for one patient? May 2022. David's medical bills started getting paid, partially, then fully. Anonymous payments covering chemotherapy costs, experimental treatments, everything. I don't understand, Michael told the hospital billing department. Who's paying for this? We can't disclose that information. Privacy rules. Michael felt like he was going insane. Someone was paying his brother's medical bills. Someone was visiting him twice a week. Someone cared deeply about David. But who? June 2022. David passed away, peacefully, in his sleep, the way everyone hopes to go. At the funeral, Michael expected to finally meet Jay, to thank him for being there when Michael couldn't be. But Jay never showed up. Michael asked everyone, did you know David's friend Jay? Military guy who visited him? Nobody knew. Nobody had heard of him. And here's where the story gets even stranger. July 2022. Michael was going through David's belongings, phone, wallet, personal effects from the hospital. David's phone had photos, lots of photos, but they were weird. Selfies with someone whose face was always blurred or cut off. Pictures where you could see a tattooed arm, a hand, but never a face. One photo had a caption, Jay made me laugh so hard today I forgot I was sick. Another, best friend a dying soldier could ask for. Michael stared at these photos for hours. Who was this person? Why did they hide their face? August 2022, September 2022. October 2022. Michael tried to move on, but the mystery ate at him. He contacted David's unit, asked every soldier who visited. "Never heard of a J," they all said. He went back to the hospital, begged Nurse Patricia. "Please," Michael said, "I just need to know who cared about my brother, who made his last months bearable." Patricia looked conflicted. "I'm sorry. I promised I wouldn't say." "Promised who?" She just shook her head. 2023 passed. Michael slowly accepted that he'd never know, until March 8, 2024. That video. 2:47 a.m. Michael clicked it. His hands were shaking. The video was made by a former hospital security guard, someone who'd recently retired and decided to tell the truth. "For 3 years," the guard said into the camera, "I kept a secret because I was asked to, but I think it's time people knew." The guard showed security footage, grainy, black and white, but clear enough. November 2021. A young man entering through a service entrance, hat pulled low, sunglasses, face mask. This man visited Naval Medical Center San Diego every Tuesday and Thursday for 3 years, the guard narrated. Always disguised, always using the service entrance, always visiting the same patient. The footage showed the man walking through corridors, avoiding main hallways, taking service elevators. He'd spend 2 to 3 hours with one patient, Staff Sergeant David Chen, terminal lung cancer. Michael's heart stopped. The guard continued. "The patient knew him as Jay, but we all knew who he really was. We were sworn to secrecy." The camera footage showed the man removing his hat in David's room. Just for a second. Justin Bieber. Michael dropped his phone, picked it up, watched again. Justin Bieber. For 3 years, twice a week, visiting his dying brother. The video went viral instantly. 10 million views in 6 hours, 47 million in 24 hours, 100 million in 3 days. People started investigating, and this is what came out. Justin had been at the hospital in November 2021 visiting sick children, one of his charity things, and he'd walked past David's room. David had been watching a Justin Bieber music video on his phone, trying to stay positive, trying to forget the pain. Justin had heard his own voice coming from the room, stopped, looked in. David had looked up, recognized him instantly, and his face had lit up like a child's. "No way," David had whispered. Justin had put a finger to his lips. "Shh, I'm not here officially, just visiting. Can I come in?" That's how it started. One random visit, one coincidence. But then Justin had learned David's story. Purple Heart recipient, dying at 34. No wife, no kids, just a brother who visited when he could. And something in Justin had broken, because Justin's grandfather had been a veteran, Korean War, had died when Justin was young. And Justin had always regretted not spending more time with him. So Justin made a decision. He'd come back. Regularly, quietly. "Call me Jay," Justin had told David that first day. "I want to be your friend, not some celebrity, just a friend." Tuesday and Thursday, for 3 years. Justin had arranged his entire touring schedule around those hospital visits. When he was in Los Angeles, he'd drive to San Diego, 2 hours each way. When he was touring internationally, he'd send video messages, sometimes call. When he was in the country, he was there, in person, every single time. The hospital staff had known. They'd all signed NDAs, because Justin had one rule: no publicity, no press, no social media. This wasn't for his image. This was personal. Nurse Patricia came forward after the video went viral. "Justin paid for everything," she revealed. "The equipment, the experimental treatments, the medical bills, all of it, hundreds of thousands of dollars. He never wanted credit." Other hospital workers shared their stories. Justin would arrive at 2 p.m. every Tuesday, one said. He'd stay until 5 p.m. He'd play video games with David, show him music he was working on. Just be there. On Thursdays, another added, he'd bring food, David's favorite Mexican food. They'd watch movies together. A physical therapist shared camera phone footage she'd secretly taken, Justin helping David walk down the hallway. David's arm around Justin's shoulder, both of them laughing. "Look at me, Jay," David had said in the video, "walking like a normal person. "You're doing great, man," Justin had replied. "Keep going." The internet exploded. Celebrities started sharing the story. Ariana Grande, "This is who Justin really is. This is the real him." Shawn Mendes, "Bro, you're a real one. Mad respect." Ed Sheeran, 3 years, twice a week. Never told anyone. That's love. But here's the really incredible part. People started digging deeper, and they discovered Justin hadn't just visited David. He'd been doing this at multiple hospitals for years. Cedars-Sinai in Los Angeles, 17 different terminal patients over 5 years. Children's Hospital of Orange County, 23 children with cancer. Ronald Reagan UCLA Medical Center, 12 veterans with terminal illnesses, always disguised, always quiet, always using fake names. "I knew him as Mike," said one mother whose daughter had leukemia. "He visited my daughter every week for 8 months until she passed. We never knew it was Justin Bieber." "He called himself Chris," said another father. "Spent 2 years visiting my son, paid for treatments, never once mentioned who he really was." The numbers were staggering. Over 100 patients across 6 years. Millions of dollars in medical bills paid. Thousands of hours spent at bedsides. And nobody had known. Not the press. Not the fans. Nobody. Michael Chen tried to process all of this. His brother's mysterious friend Jay. The anonymous payments, the expensive equipment. It had all been Justin Bieber. Michael made a video response. It got 30 million views. "Justin," Michael said, tears streaming down his face, "you gave my brother something I couldn't. You gave him normalcy. You gave him friendship. You made him forget he was dying." Michael's voice cracked. "You called yourself Jay because you didn't want him to feel starstruck. You wanted to be his equal, his friend. And the fact that you did this for 3 years, that you rearranged your life, that you never told anyone, that's not celebrity charity. That's real love." Justin finally responded. A video from his home. Looking emotional. "David was my friend," Justin said simply. "Yeah, I'm Justin Bieber. But with David, I was just Jay, a guy who came to hang out. And you know what? Those visits weren't charity. They saved me, too." Justin paused, wiped his eyes. "I was going through dark times in 2021, depression, anxiety, and David reminded me what strength looked like, what grace looked like, how to face impossible odds with a smile. So to everyone saying I'm a hero, no, David was the hero. I just showed up." The story kept growing. News outlets picked it up. CNN, BBC, The New York Times. Justin Bieber's secret. 3 years of anonymous hospital visits. How Justin Bieber spent millions helping dying veterans without anyone knowing. The real Justin Bieber, a story of quiet generosity. But here's what made it truly special. Other celebrities started coming forward with their own stories. "Justin called me in 2019, said Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. "Told me about a kid with cancer who loved wrestling, asked if I'd visit. We both did. Together. Never told anyone." "He recruited me too," said Taylor Swift. "For a little girl who loved music. We visited her together for 6 months." It turned out Justin had been quietly organizing other celebrities to visit terminal patients, building a network, all in secret. And finally, the biggest revelation. Justin announced the creation of the J Foundation, named after his alias, dedicated to providing companionship and financial support for terminal patients. "Money can buy medicine," Justin said at the announcement. "But it can't buy friendship. It can't buy someone to sit with you, to laugh with you, to remind you you're still human." The J Foundation will match volunteers with patients, train them, support them, because everyone deserves a friend named Jay. The foundation launched with $10 million of Justin's own money. Within a week, donations brought it to $50 million. Today, there's a memorial at Naval Medical Center San Diego, a bench in the Healing Garden. The plaque reads, "In memory of S.A. David Chen, who taught his friend Jay that true strength is quiet and real friendship asks for nothing in return." Michael Chen sits on that bench sometimes, and he thinks about those Tuesday and Thursday visits, the ones he never witnessed, the friendship he never saw. "Thank you, Jay," Michael whispers to the empty garden, "for being there when I couldn't, for making my brother's last years meaningful." And somewhere, Justin Bieber continues visiting hospitals, still disguised, still quiet, still using fake names. Because that's what real help looks like, quiet, consistent, anonymous, forever. If this incredible story moved you, please don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Have you ever helped someone without wanting credit? Tell us in the comments and turn on notifications because more amazing true stories are coming.